when we rewind. It feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help how. Got this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. Good do. Show me something. Give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're a good guy. Make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it. I wanna see it. See how. Rewind. When we rewind, it feels so nice. I can't help how. Got this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. We've been dancing all night long. Right here with you way too long. Don't want nothing here or now. But I'm done waiting, done wasting my time. Got this sweet talk, I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, you're as welcome as can be. M-A-R-Why it doesn't rhyme. Damn it! Hi! How you doing, everybody? I'm here. And be used to it. First of all, let me just say right off the bat, thank you so much, Furry Kitten, for being the first sponsor of the show today. Furry Kitten!
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Who said before we even started the show, I don't know if this could be song lyrics, you know? This could be song lyrics from like, it could be a collaboration between like Celine Dion and Ice Cube. Just listen to these lyrics. Well, I don't know if I'm going to sing it. 9:15, I'm home from work early and just cracked open a new bottle of wine. Oh, excuse me, not bottle of wine, Woods 100 rum. And I poured myself a very generous drink. And Marty is on. Oh, generous measure. I got to read a little better. Today is a good day. and Ice Cube would give the "it's a good day" line, right? Good afternoon. I am just getting caught up on things that happened a weekend, because I had a wonderful weekend hanging out with my Lady Broom, and I went and visited my wife's cousin and his lovely wife, and we had a lovely time up in the Brainerd's Lake area of Minnesota. If you're not familiar with that, that's, Minnesota has over 12,000 lakes. I know it says land of 10,000 lakes, but it has over 12,000 lakes of a square mile or more. But the Brainerd Lakes area is kind of a resort area, but there are a lot of people who live up there, and they both work out of their homes, so they just moved up there, and it's a beautiful area, lots of lakes, lots of cool, antique shops and places to go and things to do and golf courses and everything. And actually, I finally went fishing in Minnesota. I mean, out on a lake. I mean, I've done some dock fishing and stuff, but we went out in the boat and went fishing. I didn't catch it. I almost caught a fish, but we didn't stay out long enough really to catch much stuff. But anyway, great time. Love it up there. God, I could see moving up there someday. Don't tell Lady Boomer I said that yet, though, because we're figuring stuff out. But anyway, happy Monday. Weekend's over. And holy Moses, just even the little bit of news and stuff that I found between Discord and this and that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost want to stop the world and get off. It's funny because somebody at UPS this morning, we were laughing because in 2016, I had told him about the sweet meteor death that I had voted for in the 2016 election, because I wasn't sure about one of the candidates, and I knew damn well I didn't want the other one. And it just seemed like it was going to be a train wreck waiting to happen, and I just, didn't turn out too bad. But I mean, still, I was worried. And, I don't know. Wait, what? Do you ever use flies, Marty? Oh, no, I don't do fly fishing. We're lake fishing. We're like mostly in these lakes, you fish for walleye, northerns, an occasional muskie, an occasional, what are those big ass sturgeons? Well, not sturgeons. You kind of get those in the big lakes. But anyway, and crappie and what else? There's some bass fishing up there, but mainly the king fish you want to fish for in the northern Minnesota lakes is walleye, much like you would find in Canada too. So, I don't use flies. I don't fish, by the way. When I say I went fishing, like I said, I've lived here over 30 years and I haven't gone fishing, and that's what you do in Minnesota. Minnesotans go fishing and hunting and all that stuff. And I haven't done any of that stuff. So I was excited to be able to go out on a boat and drop a line and do this, like you want to do for the walleyes, because that's how they catch them. But I didn't catch anything. But we're planning to go up there and go fishing the whole day. We only went for a couple hours, so. But there were a lot of fish where we were. We could see them on the depth finder. But anyway, all right. So anyway, we'll get into the news and stuff after the intro, and just like we always do. And it's going to be kind of a short show today. I'm only going to go to 4 because I'm still trying to edit some videos. But I did want to make sure I had a show today. Welcome to the show, Johnny. Play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight.
All right, stop the music. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this lovely August 23rd, 2021. And I see lots of people already talking about fishing in the old chat because, you know, fishing's a great subject. And flies, no, again, I've never used flies. Yeah, we use spinners and fake worms and things like that. Gun Fox, you are correct. And then, although bass fishing, I use Rapala makes some floating lures that the bass like, because they like to get things on the surface, whereas like walleye like to get stuff down, you know, towards the bottom of the lake. So you just have different things. But anyway, this is not a fishing show. This is what I don't have this. PDawgKnight. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, you're singing my song. Awesome. I was like, what are you spelling there? But all right. Anyway, so let's get into it. Okay. Now I was laughing because I spent a lot of time in the Ace of Spades blog, and I kind of every once in a while have some conversations with Oregon Muse on the internets and Twitter and things like that, and he writes over there for Ace of Spades, and I was laughing at a couple of the memes that they put out there. This might just be a meme day because this. I'm gonna read this introduction. I thought it maybe was, and I'm not gonna put the picture up until a minute from now. I thought maybe this isn't fair. I'm not familiar with military culture, but perhaps there is a time to wear your medals and a time not to, like when you're in a combat situation. I also remember when the Democrats tried to gin up another hair on fire fake Melania destroyed the Rose Garden. Oh my God, by showing two photographs taken at a different time of the year to make it look like Michelle had everything growing beautifully, but then Melania ripped everything out and replaced it all with nothing. So I Googled up a bunch of pics of Eisenhower in dress uniform and did the same for Millie, as in our current Joint Chiefs of Staff or whatever the hell he is. And here's the difference. I'll show you the picture he put up here because I think it's hilarious. Make sure it fits on the screen here. Not as prepared as I thought I was. There we go. Here's the difference. Eisenhower versus Millie. Now, had there been some sort of okay, so then you want to see has there been some sort of medal inflation? Maybe. Over the years, where it takes less achievements to earn one. Eisenhower had a crap ton more awards and medals than Millie, and could have festooned his entire torso with them, which of course would look ridiculous. And also, Eisenhower's probably a more modest man, which brings me to my point. Progressives are at the demand respect phase of the Burge sequence of their penetration of the military. And hoo boy, they do like their frippery. All those medals and ribbons and ranks and awards, they just can't get enough of them. And didn't Lieutenant Colonel Stay Puft show up at the Russian collusion hoax hearings wearing enough bling to make a third world dictator jealous? Why, yes, he did, by the way. If you're not sure what... Oh, Burge. Never mind. Burge was David Burge. It's like that elsewhere too. I remember when former Senator Barbara Boxer upbraided a general at some committee hearing for not addressing her as senator. I worked hard to get that title. She lectured him, which is kind of weird because Glenn Beck came up with an archival video clip of her repeatedly being addressed as ma'am by another military guy, and she didn't object at all. So apparently, outrage is selective or fake. Academia is another area where the progs throw fits. It's Dr. Jill Biden, they keep insisting, but she got her PhD in what? Education, community service. And they're strutting her around like she's some Nobel Prize winning brain surgeon. And if there's somebody on social media complaining about not being called doctor or whatever her correct title is, it's usually someone with a blue check, pronouns in the bio, progressive slogans also in the bio. The complainer is usually female too, but not always. And they use their academic leverage to try to muscle their way into the high-status STEM fields. They could do this easily enough by simply enrolling as a major in one of the STEM disciplines and passing the required coursework, but they're too lazy or not smart enough to do this. Instead of doing the actual work, they come up with a new acronym, STEAM, where the A stands for arts, because we need more arts. So they can claim that a degree in lesbian, feminist, Yakut poetry and dance is just as rigorous as one in chemical engineering. The way I see it, if you need to ask for respect, you probably haven't earned respect. You shouldn't have to ask. Your work or your character or your demeanor should speak for itself. And the people I respect the most do not make a big deal about rank or title. I've known highly accomplished PhDs who don't give a rip about being called doctor. Speaking of which, this is from this little clip from Wikipedia. This is Wikipedia. This is her Wikipedia bio. Jill Biden later returned to school for her doctoral degree, studying under her birth name, Jill Jacobs. In January 2007, at age 55, she received a Doctor of Education in Educational Learning from the University of Delaware under the direction of Professor Barbara Curry. Her dissertation, Student Retention at the Community College, Meeting Students' Needs, was published under the name Jill Jacobs-Biden. Great. So not a PhD, just an ED, which is not as rigorous. Also, educational leadership. How do you get a degree in that? So here's a little, he wrote a little mock interview here, which I'll go to in a second. But before I do that, I want to say hi. We'll do the mock interview in a moment. How y'all doing? And welcome to the show. Now, first in the chat today, honestly, these were so close together that it could have been a tie, and because literally it was beep, beep. Catch that? It was beep, beep. Just beep, beep. It was just beep, beep. It was like that. And so I got a bell for Mike Savage, blarg. And I have a bell for Gunfox 61 because you guys, it very well could have been, it could have been just which tube went, open and closed faster for all I know. So thank you guys for joining us on the show. Also, James Colley was right there, except, if he would have kept his chat on Top Chat, he would have been first. Thank you, James. I'm glad you're here. Also, good afternoon, Jonathan Peterson, Tyler F., Zach Osborne, Attack Alpaca, Furry Kitten, Atheist Icon, Cynics in the house. Also, Hig and Cindy. Hi, Hig and Cindy. Also, good afternoon to, well, that could be an Infamous One, People's Front of Canada, Lurking Gopher. Nice to have you all here. And people are slowly coming out. I know that the notifications didn't go out as fast. John Arnott, how you doing? Mass Creation Broadcast, Tyler F. Welcome, one and all, and hopefully we'll have more people notice that we're here. These afternoon streams are a hit and miss for me, but usually people show up later in the stream. So now let's go. Let's. This is kind of funny. So here's the here's the interview. Here's the interview. And I'm just going to read it without putting it on the screen. Interviewer. So, Mrs. Biden, excuse me, it's Dr. Biden. You're a doctor? Yes. Oh, I didn't know that. Where did you go to medical school? I didn't go to medical school. Oh, you didn't? Well, I'm not an MD. Oh, then what are you a doctor of? Educational leadership. What? I said educational leadership. And that's the interview. Yes, thank you. That is my reenactment of an interview. Okay, so anyway, now one of the things too is one thing I always get a kick out of Oregon Muse when he does post things on the Ace of Spades blog is he always has some memes going. So we're gonna go through some of the things that he posts here because I just think it's funny and I think if you haven't gone on the Ace of Spades blog, here the website is ace.mu.nu. In fact, there's the Ace blog in the chat. Did somebody else show up? So there it is. Anyway, so let's just go through some of the funny things that he posted today because it's funny. First of all, this one's probably apropos. You know, if I only had a
you know the thing.
If I only had a you know the thing. Hello, dumb beard. I see you there, brother. Nice to have you here. Oh, and also, does anyone remember this when we were having the presidential race here? This was Bruce Springsteen was interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine, and he told Rolling Stone, "I think if we get Joe Biden, it's going to go a long way toward us helping regain our status around the world." I'm sorry, I kind of botched that, but okay. I think if we get Joe Biden, it's going to go a long way toward helping us regain our status around the world. Well, that depends on what he means by status, okay? Yes, we definitely have a new status regained. You know, I kind of remember this kind of a status around 1977, but you know how that goes in 1978 and those years. Also, Joyanne Reid, pro-democracy Democrat. Here's the tweet. Well, first of all, someone named Elizabeth Newman. I can vouch for Olivia Troy's characterization. Will add that we have proof of what Trump would have done. He abandoned our allies, the no-notice decision to withdraw from Syria, Iraqi, and blah, blah, blah. Whereas Joyanne Reid said, this is case closed for me. We are where we are in Afghanistan because of Trump's surrender to the Taliban and his administration's venal attitude towards Muslim and really all non-white immigrants. The media should track down Stephen Miller, Pompeo, Trump, and his Secretary of Defense and query. Yes, everything that's happening right now is 100% Orange Man Bad's fault. Unreal. Now this is interesting. Someone there's a tale of two tweets. Let's see. This is what? Wait, what is this? Human papillomavirus in men. Underline March 15th. Everything you need to know about HPV in vulva owners. March 15, 2021. Wait, did she write two different articles on this? I'm not sure what that one is. Anyway. Oh, and did you see the Los Angeles Times article on Larry Elder? Yes, Larry Elder is the black face of white supremacy. You've been warned. I think Larry Elder tweeted something funny about that because these people, I swear. I might even bookmark. Let me see if I bookmarked Larry Elder here. Did I? I hope so. Oh, I didn't. Well, that's too bad. He had a really funny response on Twitter to that, saying, they're really getting scared when they start discussing white supremacy from someone who grew up in South Central LA. That's where Larry Elder's from. Now, granted, he is not the correct, he does not have the correct attitude that our friends want from black men. And, you know, I guess I can relate. I'm not even a big fan of Larry Elder, but he's all right. He's not terrible. He's, you know, I mean, I agree with him more than I disagree with him, but I just think that, Larry Elder, the black face of white supremacy. You've been warned. You know, I don't know if it's just me. I just don't know. I don't know if it's just me. But that just sounds, you know, kind of... That's racist! Yeah, exactly, kid. Where the hell is that kid? I hear that kid all the time. What did you say, kid? That's racist! Yeah, it kind of is. You know what I mean? Let's see what else here. Oh, here's one. If you have Ebola, meningitis, conjunctivitis, strep throat, measles, mumps, rubella, diphtheria, pertussis, tuberculosis, hepatitis, shingles, MRSA, chickenpox, or a cold, flu, cough, you may still travel, go to work, go to school, go to a restaurant, go to a gym, go to a mall, go to the grocery store, go to the theater, go to a concert. That is all. Carry on. Oh, the memes. Okay, here's one. Wow, government created this whole problem. I guess we need some more government. Oh, in fact, it even gets one of those. Well, here's a monopoly, COVID monopoly, Australia edition. Go to jail, 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 go to jail. I wonder what the community chess and chance cards say. What, Australians, what the hell is going on? And didn't they shut down New Zealand for one case of the stupid 19? What is going on with y'all down there under the, you know, where your toilets flush backwards? They're losing their damn minds. Anyway, all right, let's see. And we have, what's the most interesting band in the world? Whenever I get sick, I get my immune system drunk, so it will fight anything. Hey, furry kitten, hear that? Are you just keeping your immune system up? All right, it's been, it's been 12, 16, 13, 14, 17, 15 months. Shouldn't all the non-mask wearers be dead by now? You know, they're still trying to, well, they're not, okay, so at work at UPS, where one of my several streams of income, at UPS, they are asking us to wear masks. Okay. Now they're not enforcing it necessarily because we're not always working right next to somebody, but it's somebody every day. Someone walks up and hands me a mask, and since I don't work near anybody, I don't put it on, and then I usually just avoid everybody just to make everyone happy. But you know, here's the other interesting thing. So the Minnesota State Fair. Now the Minnesota State Fair is the second largest state fair in the country behind Texas. It's huge, and it's, you know, everyone thinks, oh, everyone has a great state fair. And I'm not from here, but I freaked out the first time I went to Minnesota State Fair because I've gone to the Nebraska State Fair several times. I've been to the Iowa State Fair. I think I've been to the Illinois State Fair before I went to the Minnesota State Fair. And the Minnesota State Fair, I mean, literally 250,000 people a day go to the Minnesota State Fair. It's a huge deal. And last year they didn't have it because of the 19. And this year they are going to have it again. And there are going to be no restrictions. They're not going to require you to be vaccinated. They're not going to require you to wear masks. It is a mostly outdoor event, right? And I was thinking about this because, and I don't know if this is our governor, because our governor usually copies everything that they do in New York and or California within a couple weeks. Like if New York does something, then all of a sudden here's Tim Walz. Oh, we're going to do this. Like, this is a brand new idea. And I'm like, they just did that in New York and California and Washington. So then, but I thought, oh, is our governor pulling a Lori Lightfoot here? Because remember how Lori Lightfoot, she didn't institute any new restrictions for the Della Reese, because the Della Reese was all coming around. You know who the Della Reese is, right? And she didn't have any new restrictions until after what event? Let's do a quiz in the chat. Who can answer this question? What did Lori Lightfoot wait for before she had her new restrictions go into place? Let's see how up on the news and current events everyone is in the chat, and I'll wait for the answer before I move on. Let me do a quick thank you to Mitch the Ripper and Scribe Light and Tyler F. All appreciate all you guys retweeting the show from this morning, and Dr. Eve did put out the show on Twitter this afternoon, and I appreciate that so much. I really do. It really does help. Also, if you're watching a replay, now it's funny because I was listening to somebody and they were making fun of people, always telling people to put a comment in the comment section. I've been saying that for a year now at least, because I always thought because I always like to know who comes and watches the show on replay. And so I always ask people, if you're watching the show on replay, just do a quick blurb in the comment section so I know that you're there, because it's always I just enjoy, there's some people who watch the replays regularly, and I really appreciate that. So anyway, if you're watching replay, just throw a comment in the comment section so I know you were here. Not because I don't give it, the algorithm sure great, because I know Crowder talks about it all the time. There's a couple other people I watched it. Oh, now they're doing the algorithm's king. Well, I don't care. I just want to know who stopped by. Who stopped by in the afternoon. Hello, Kenley. Hello, BoschTube. Yes, you are correct, John Arnott. It is Gagapalooza. Lollapalooza was what Lori Lightfoot waited for her restrictions. So I'm just wondering if our governor is pulling a Lori Lightfoot with our state fair, because our state fair, look, there are businesses that have spaces there that they make an entire year, they make a whole year's worth of income at our state fair, because it's so huge and so many people, and it had to hurt some of those people so bad, because some people, that's a big deal. You're doubling your income for the year in 1 week, because that's how big our state fair is. It's incredible. In fact, I will take some video, because Lady Boomer and I will go down there. We won't go down there on the weekends this year, because we have plans for both weekends of the state fair, but we'll go down there on a weeknight. I'll show you video of what it looks like walking through our state fair. In fact, I might even have some video on my portable drive right now, but I don't have it connected. It's incredible how many people come through our state fair, and I was just flabbergasted the first time I went. I'm like, seriously? I've seen big state fairs, but this is crazy. All right, Kamala and the Blinken and Biden on stage, winking and blinking and nod. More like winking, blinking, and nod off. Anyway, where was I? Okay, we were doing some memes from. Notice this isn't really a super serious show. We're just gonna have some fun today, I think. I do have articles galore, but and there are a couple things that I need to get caught up on. By the way, I do have a cup of reparations with me too. I am, enjoying my well, actually it's Coke, but I put it in a coffee cup so it looked like the morning show. Not Coke, like not that kind of Coke. I mean, this, Coca-Cola, this kind of Coke, not. I've never done that. You know what? I've never tried it. I don't really ever have any desire to. Anyway. All right. Back to the memes. Shouldn't there be shouldn't all the non-mask wearers be dead by now? They still haven't shown me the study that masks really do anything. They haven't. They haven't had a. I'd laugh. Remember back when there was one article that they did, or what a study where they said the masks could, and they didn't even say definitively, could lessen your chances by like 90% of particles or not even 90, like 80% of particles coming through and whatnot. And then, but they didn't do the test on humans. They used the test on, they had the test on dummies and sensors, and they were using smoke or something like that. It's like, look, like let me put it this way. When those wildfires in Canada was spewing smoke all over over here in Minnesota, like from way far away, and the smoke, you can smell the smoke through a mask. Now, if you can smell the smoke through a mask, I'm pretty sure that a nanoscopic particle of COVID germ is going to get through that damn mask. Anyway, hi, Katie. Nice to see you. All right. Anyway, here we go. Here's one. Kids today are soft. I died once when I was 5 and my mom made me walk it off. Yeah, it's okay. And that's all right. That's all for him today. All right, let's get into a couple of news items that are current and important and all that shit, because every once in a while I have to be serious. So here we go. This is the serious part of the show where I talk about actual news. So the Pentagon has reported that they have actually gotten, now I don't, who knows any of these numbers are real, but this is according to John, is this John Solomon's place, Just the News? Yeah, anyway, it's called Just the News. Pentagon reports 16,000 have been evacuated from Afghanistan so far in the past day. About 37,000 have been evacuated from Afghanistan in just over a week. In the past day, about 16,000 people. Okay, I don't know why. Is this a new style of news where they repeat the headline and the sub-headline in the first paragraph every time? It seems, if you notice that, it happens so much now. It drives me nuts. Give me a headline and then tell me those things in the first line. Maybe that's how they get people to read it. I don't know. Or you know what? Maybe it's because some people don't read, and so they have to get as much of the important part of the article in the headline. So, knowing people won't read it, but I'm going to read it because I want to see what they're talking about. In the past day, about 16,000 people have been evacuated from Kabul, which is almost half of the 37,000 that were evacuated in a little over a week, according to the Pentagon. Deputy Director of Joint Regional Operations, Major General Hank Taylor, said that 28 military flights evacuated about 10,400 people, and 61 coalition aircraft evacuated 5,900 people from Kabul in the past 24 hours. Now, wait a minute. 28 flights. Where's my calculator here? How do you get 10,000 people on 28 flights? 10,000, 10,400 divided by 28. Oh, that doesn't sound right. 371 people per flight. I know they packed in that one plane with about 600 people when they weren't supposed to have that private capacity on that cargo plane. How awful would that flight be? Remember the first flight they had the big cargo plane. They showed everyone just packed in there. I mean, I don't even know they were on seats. Could you imagine flying like that for any distance? I mean, even for an hour, I don't know how far they had to fly from there, but holy crap. Hey, Alone's in the house. Nice to see you. Hello, Chicago, Mike. Good to see you. Anyway, Dulles International Airport, just outside of Washington, D.C., received 5 flights with approximately 1,300 passengers in the past day. According to Taylor, our mission remains focused on ensuring a steady flow of evacuees out of Kabul to the intermediate staging bases and safe havens at our installations. Installations? Is that supposed to be installations? They put the wrong word there. Editors, please. continue to rapidly build out capacity as needed to ensure reception and providing humanitarian assistance, Taylor told reporters. Since August 14th, several thousand Americans have been evacuated from Afghanistan, said Pentagon's press secretary John Kirby, but did not give a specific number. As he said, the amount is very fluid because in other words, they have no idea. They're packing the flights. They don't know who's coming in. They're not tracking them very carefully when they get wherever they go. On Saturday, the Pentagon reported that 2,500 American citizens had been evacuated. So wait a minute. Saturday, 2,500 American citizens had been evacuated, and then that number is up to whatever the percentage or number of American citizens were in that group. Now, this is interesting that they are all terrorists. Oh, what are the chances? Marty, they're using civilian flights. Yeah, no, I know they're using civilian flights too. Although I think some of it's military. So we know that there's an issue because they don't particularly know. They don't even know how many Americans are actually stuck there. I mean, they're still trying to get people to register and all that shit, but they have no idea. And it's obviously it's concerning. Let's see here. So here, for example, so let's see. They leave thousands of actual Americans. Okay, here, this clip from Michael Hayden. Exhibit A for today is General Michael Hayden, former director of the NSA and director of the CIA under George W. Bush. Hayden's Twitter feed reveals how very deeply and profoundly this former military officer and government official hates that half or more than half of America that voted for Trump. He shows the same amount of animosity we saw with Peter Strzok when he wrote his married girlfriend that he could smell the Trump supporters at Walmart. So he was tweeting to somebody, can we send the MAGA wearing unvaxxed to Afghanistan? No use sending that plane back empty. This is General Michael Hayden, right? He thinks it's a wonderful idea to flood America's communities with young Afghan men. Another tweet he wrote, raise your hand if you want this plane landing in your town. America paid unimaginable cost in Afghanistan because of uniparty globalists who dominated the Bush and Obama administrations. No more. And Michael Hayden's like, you bet. As a reminder, young Afghan men were responsible for the majority of the huge number of sex crimes in Germany and Austria after Angela Merkel invited them to Europe. But Hayden, who probably lives in a leafy enclave safe from poor neighborhoods, thinks it would be great for them to live in your neighborhood. But here's the thing about Hayden. The guy is not a Democrat. He considers himself a standard bearer of true republicanism, like the Lincoln Project, kind of, maybe. He is the perfect reminder that there is a monoparty in Washington, D.C., one that ranges politically from slightly left to far left. Trump challenged that establishment, and the establishment tried to destroy him. And with January 6th as a weapon, is trying to destroy Trump supporters too. There's some news on that, by the way, which we kind of touched on Friday, but we'll get to that. So let's see, leave thousands of actual Americans and perhaps a relative handful of legitimate Afghani nationals who are not of the dark age bent to become the next Tehran 52 or Terry Anderson or worse, William Buckley or Daniel Pearl, while at the same time bringing in plane loads of unvetted refugees where some could be the next Omar Mateen, Nidal Hassan, Richard Reed, or the 9/11-20. But why fret about that when we have no more southern border where tens of thousands of third world Latin American peasantry are flooding the nation? So anyway, I know that kind of went off on a tangent real quick. Thank you, Chicago Mike. When is it Trump's fault? That's a great question. How? There's plenty. They're already on that kick. Joy Reid said something about that the other day. There's a bunch of them already. They're blaming this on Trump just because he said, let's get out of Afghanistan. But then you have Bernie Sanders, who thinks that Joe Biden has done the correct and noble thing. He had his idea of getting us out of Afghanistan was the right thing, even though things aren't going great. Wait a minute, whose idea of ending the war? Whose idea of getting us out of Afghanistan? I could have sworn it was the guy with the funny hair, but you're blaming him for the disaster part, but you're giving Joe credit for you're giving Joe credit for the fact that we're getting out of Afghanistan finally. I mean, come seriously.
On,
shut up, Joe. Jesus. Yeah, but actually, you're kind of right. Come on, man. Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Hello, Crythorn Madness. I come into Trump. How is he in the news still? Yeah, I don't know. Well, you're right. That didn't sound good. He's in the news because he's still holding rallies and he's saying some funny shit occasionally too. So, he said something about some speech he gave at his last rally about everything woke turns to shit. Anyway, so anyway, Jesus, I forgot about this article too. Hang on, you're gonna love this. But Biden is starting to get some bad press and starting to get some bad numbers as far as polls and things finally, because people are starting to see that he's kind of I don't know if he's all that in charge or not. It's hard to tell. Good afternoon too. So who did I just see? Oh, Uncle Bad Touch. Okay, you're here.
Oh, man.
That's if you have questions for you know who, he's in the chat. He really is. That's really him. Well, let me get to the other article I was going to do here though. Hang on a second. So we're having a little bit of trouble knowing who's actually still in Afghanistan as far as Americans, and there's a big list of Afghanis that we want to try to get out of there and to either not necessarily to our country, but just to wherever different places they're going to send them around the world, right? And if you remember, recently, as a couple of days ago, I think the Taliban gave us a warning that they said you need to have everybody you want to get out by the 31st of August, by that deadline, and that there would be consequences if not. And so here's an example of that in legal insurrection. Taliban warns Biden of consequences if U.S. doesn't meet August 31st deadline. Now, could you imagine if it was a big if, because, well, it was an if, but now it's not because we have a president. But if we had President Funny Hair still, and the Taliban warned President Funny Hair of consequences if we don't meet the August 31st deadline, I think, kind of like the answer he gave to Kim Jong-un, we have these types of weaponry and ours actually works. Anyway, listen to this. Taliban spokesman Suhail Shaheen told Sky News the U.S. would face the consequences if President Joe Biden doesn't stick with the August 31st withdrawal deadline. Can you say Iranian hostage crisis from 1979? The Taliban has met with Sky News in Doha. Oh, they met with Sky News. They had a press conference with Sky News. Great. In Doha to discuss what happens next, and issued a stark warning about the withdrawal of troops from the country. Now, is it just me? I got this premonition or feeling or whatever you call it. Do you think do the Taliban seem like, just from your little limited knowledge of the Taliban and what we've seen over the past several years and their fights and their different practices and, things they do with women and girls and they just all this stuff. And they're just, do you think the Taliban is the type of group that would make a threat and then just, take hostages until they get what they want. I don't feel that. I feel like maybe they just start making piles of body parts that they cut off of people. I don't know. They're just a tiny bit, at least in my opinion. I may be wrong. But they come off as just a tiny teensy bits barbaric. You know what I'm saying? And I just wonder. I don't think the whole hostage thing may not even be a good example. Not really. They have to be alive to count as hostages. That's exactly what I'm saying, furry kitten. That's exactly what I'm saying. Tim Pool is gay? What? I'm not sure. Terrorists are already taking girls as young as 8 for sex slaves. I know they are. They're going through homes. I mean, they're getting reports of them going homes and just taking the women. And there's plenty of dead people there. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, Taliban spokesman, Taliban spokesman, Dr. Suhail Shaheen. I wonder if he's a similar doctor as Joe Biden. Anyway, said it's a red line. It's a red line. President Biden announced that on August 31st, they would withdraw all their military forces. So if they extend it, that means they are extending occupation, while there is no need for that. He added, if the U.S. or UK were to seek additional time to continue evacuations, the answer is no. Or there would be consequences. It will create mistrust between us. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh, it would create mistrust between us. Shocker. Oops. It would create mistrust between us. Holy shit. I can't even get past that line. I'm laughing. If they are intent on continuing the occupation, it will provoke a reaction. Like I said, piles of body parts. I wonder if Shaheen said, quote, red line as a way to mock former President Barack Obama's response to ISIS in Syria. That red line keep moving. Oh, yeah. That's the truth. Now, America is still having difficulty evacuating American citizens, Afghan Americans, and those who helped our military. Biden admitted his administration discussed moving the deadline again. There's discussion going on among us and the military about extending. Our hope is we will not have to extend, but there are going to be discussions, I suspect, on how far we are in the process. Biden wants to bring it up when he meets with the G7 leaders on Tuesday. He's got 9 days or 8 days, 9 days, 8. He has 8 days. And, meeting with the G7 leaders on Tuesday, hey, let's just, oh, good God. Shaheen described reports of the Taliban going door to door, hunting those who opposed them or helped America in the past 20 years is fake news. Oh, is it now? Really? Because there have been people who've escaped who said that that's what's happening. They barely escaped this. I don't know. He also assured Sky News. Oh, here's a good one. This is important. Hold your seats, everybody. He also assured Sky News that women will have the same rights as everyone else except wearing a hijab. In other words, the Taliban will recognize that women have the same human rights as males. Yeah, the only part of the interview, I believe, is the threat towards America. The day the Taliban acknowledges even one human right for women is the day hell freezes over. That's the writer writing that, but I could have just said that myself. That would have come out of my lips either way, whether it was written down here or not. Because well, you know. Anyway, oh, by the way, Chicago Mike.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
I apologize. I should have said that earlier. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate it.
That's right.
You can see, even Black Hebrew Israelite thinks that's right, and he's not even here. Did I say hi, Katie? Yes, I did. I did say hi, Katie. Hi, Katie did skate. Anyway, all right, let's move on. So now this is, I don't even understand this. I don't understand this. And I'm hoping that this is not true. But if it is, I don't understand. I'll just say it again. I don't understand. Apparently, the 82nd Airborne Commander of the United States tells Brits to stop rescuing stranded nationals because they're making the U.S. look bad. I'm putting on my, I've got a big old chunk of salt right over here. I'm just telling you. So much for the U.S.-UK alliance. The commander of the 82nd Airborne, in a story I hope is wrong, has reportedly told this to the Brits, according to the Washington Examiner's Tom Rogan. Quote, I understand that the commanding general of the 82nd Airborne Division has told the commander of the British Special Forces at the Kabul airport to cease operations beyond the airport perimeter. Major General Christopher Donahue has told his British Army counterpart, a high-ranking field-grade officer of the British Army's 22nd Special Air Service Regiment, that British operations were embarrassing the United States military in the absence of similar or U.S. military operations. I understand that the British officer firmly rejected the request. Good for him! This would be a F right off to me. If that is the story, if that story is true, heaven help us. It's got some amazing temerity, number one, which has got to be going down badly with the Brits. Who in the heck micromanages someone else's operation for any reason whatsoever, let alone something as urgent as this? Allies respect one another. Two, it's perfectly true. The British are making the Americans look bad, not based on the competence or valor of the troops, but because of the leadership at the top. The Biden administration is the one keeping the 82nd Airborne and Marines, which are perfectly capable of going out in the city and rescuing Americans. Its priority is avoiding a battle with the Taliban or a Saigon-style helicopter liftoff. In other words, it's focused on optics, not results. 3, the British and French and German forces who are going out to hunt for their nation's nationals has never been told about the Biden administration's sudden pullout or the intelligence describing a swift downfall of Kabul in the first place. So they're engaged in triage based on the Biden's administration's failure to communicate. The goodwill toward the U.S. in light of this desperate cleanup has got to be already burned. True. 4, what the hell are U.S. forces over there for if it's not to rescue nationals? Is somewhat unclear on the concept. Why is Donahue telling the Brits to stop instead of getting on the horn with the Biden and screaming at the dotard to let the 82nd Airborne do what it does best? The Brits are out there rescuing anyone they can. Nationals, allies, Afghan collaborators, very likely some Americans. The Americans are guarding the perimeter of the airport without going outside, making the airport actually irrelevant to the people who need to flee. And the U.S. officials are telling stranded Americans, more than 10,000 of them, that they're on their own and they have to pay for their own fucking flight. In the meantime, the Taliban has set up checkpoints and thugs going around with whips all around the circumference of the airport, stealing Americans' passports and not letting Americans with documents inside. Airplanes are not filling as a result, and planes are going either half empty or filled with unvetted Afghans instead of Americans. Getting to the airport looks like this. And here's a little short video of... Yeah, they got a perimeter.
Yes. Come on, look at this guy.
Anyway, Freaking sad. Hello, MC.
Hammer time.
And hello, Lord Stanhope. Nice to see you. Care to get in through that? Some observers say they suspect Biden cut a deal with the Taliban for U.S. troops not to go out of the airport in exchange for no attacks on the airport as the rescue is underway. AT contributor Denton Scratch today has some excellent background on how this picture looks. I'll leave that article open in the tabs. I'm not going to go through it, though. And here's a tweet showing a map of the civilian rescue plan, which looks consistent with Scratch's post-civilian evacuation protocol. Apologies for the tweeter's mind in the gutter. I don't know what he's saying there. Yet, there's no way to coordinate this. Have the Brits go and get them and have the Americans guard the perimeter? Probably not, given that Joe Biden has not been taking British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's repeated phone calls in recent days. He says he's now taken one, and one can only guess what that was like. The UK Parliament is in a bipartisan vote has condemned Biden for contempt. Fucking great. This is ugly stuff. There have been reported tensions between the 82nd Airport and the Brits earlier, and we saw that in the we saw these tweets last week. Now the Brits are making us look bad, and the French and the Germans for simply getting the job done. We could get the job done too, maybe. Two. Anyway, one. Okay, so there's some important things to point out. Number one, Biden isn't all there. The man who said America is back and promised to restore the NATO alliance has pretty well killed it off with this kind of crap. Whoever's ordering him around is focused on news cycles and not getting anything done. Yeah, that's an important point. Maybe you missed it, but that's a very important point. It's not Biden who's doing this. It's the puppet master, whoever the puppet master is. I don't know. Could it be Obama? Could it be Hillary? Could it be just a cadre of Democrat shills yet power brokers that are just kind of giving him the same guy who gives him the note cards with the reporters' names on it. I'm not supposed to. I have a list of people that I'm supposed to call on because the questions are already out there. He already has all the questions in the right order, and he already has his cue card to be able to answer the question they ask because he can't fucking speak on his own. Sorry if you're wearing headphones. Sorry about that. But anyway, and then Biden isn't all there. The man who said America's back promised to restore NATO. Okay, I already said that. And then two, the military leadership needs some hosing out. The general who reportedly made the indecent request to the Brits is one Major General Christian Donahue, who, while not a paper pusher, is obviously well in with the wokester academic crowd as well as a careerist based on his official biography. He appears big on fitting in rather than doing what's right and, learning how to shoot straight and kill people when necessary. Anyway. It's sad stuff. Brits, French, and Germans are undoubtedly making their own plans now that they're going to extend this beyond this Biden Afghanistan mess to impact the U.S. in the future. It won't be good for America when the Brits are choosing morality over American indecent proposals, and it's the French who are making you look cowardly. We're in trouble. That'd be us, the U.S. Good God. Good God, we're all going to die. Anyway, did I say that before? So if you want to read the other article about what's going on in Kabul, it's the American Thinker article here. This will also be in the tabs. Like I said, I'm not going to go through it today. Let's see how much time do I have. I'm running out of time. Let's just get, I'll do a couple more. There's also another editorial. Of course, Miranda, what's her name? Miranda Devine's never that nice to Biden, but she's got a great point here in the idea that Biden cannot laugh this Afghanistan debacle off. He can't just, he's been able to just push things aside and not really talk about, avoid talking about it to the press. But he has to talk, and the more he talks, the more we all, including his supporters, which I am not one, although he's the president of the United States, so I support him as the president of the United States. But oh my God, he's losing all of our confidence instead of the people like us confidence, which we already have no confidence in him. You want the president of the United States to win. And want to win, whatever that means. Do you think the last president we had, the guy with the funny hair, wanted to win? Did you ever get that sense that he always wanted to win? Now, do you get the sense that this president wants to win? Do you ever I never got that feeling from him, even when he was running for president, that he wanted to win. And whatever that means, he does not want to win. And maybe that's the problem. First of all, and then because he can't even decide what win is. He can't even decide which socks match, because he can't tell, because someone else is putting his socks on for him, and his butt is wiped, whatever that joke was. Anyway, he had this press conference Sunday. Let me see if this is here. We got to take a look at this. I didn't see this. I want to link to the press conference. Maybe it's on the White House, because this is the one where another one where he walked away from questions. Let's go through the press conference first, and then we might not get to. I had some COVID news too, because the FDA is approving the Fauci juice now, without any long-term studies on it or anything like they're supposed to. Like normally these things would have long-term studies before they fully approve it. Nope, they need to approve it because they want to make the authoritarians able to make you take it without saying, "Oh, you're forcing me to take an unapproved vax." Well, they just jumped in and approved it, just like they approved aspartame and baby formulas with cancer-causing stuff in it and whatever. But don't worry, the FDA never makes a mistake. Anyway, here's about his press conference Sunday. Hello to someone just showed up. Assassin of the Gray, how are you doing? Mike Savage. Mike Savage was here earlier. Blarg. I didn't say. I forgot to say Blarg though. Blarg. You were the first one here. Anyway, someone else showed up. Okay, it doesn't matter that much. So here's about his press conference yesterday. A defiant President Biden on Sunday stood by his decision to pull troops out of Afghanistan. Nobody is arguing with your decision to pull troops out of Afghanistan, you dolt. Everyone agrees that we needed to get out of Afghanistan. That is not the part that people are pissed at you about, that have no confidence in you about, that think you are an idiot about. That's not the part. Everyone likes the idea of getting our troops out of Afghanistan. That's not the problem. But I digress. Though he acknowledged during a bumbling press briefing that terror groups like ISIS could now be poised to strike. I thought ISIS was dead. Let me be clear. The evacuation of thousands of people from Kabul is going to be a hard and painful matter, no matter when it started, when we began. It said Biden, who stumbled over his words at several points. Oh, shocker! While speaking from the White House. There's no way to evacuate this many people without pain and loss and heartbreaking images you see on television. It's just a fact. But that was 5 days ago. That was 4 to 5 days ago. Sorry. Reminds me of Hillary. What difference does it make at this time? Does it make? There is no. Okay. We have a long way to go, and a lot could still go wrong. And wait till you get past the deadline that the Taliban has for you now. This is not going to be pretty. This is going to be a freaking disaster. There are not going to be any hostages. At one point, he also doubled down on his withdrawal decision. Nobody cares about your withdrawal decision because everyone agrees with that part. It's how you did it, Joe. Saying my job is to make judgments. Oh, great. My job is to make judgments no one else can or will make. I made them. Really? Because I could have sworn the guy with the funny hair had a deadline or had a plan for getting out of Afghanistan by what was the date? What's the date today? It's August something right now, right? I know that this was already someone's idea, right? Everyone knows that this was somebody else's idea and that he went along with it. Hello, Debbie. How you doing? Everyone knows that this was not an original idea to get the troops out of Afghanistan, Joe. Stop pretending it is, although the media is sure giving it to him. And Bernie Sanders did the other day with his stupid-ass tweet. Anyway, Biden also said the Taliban has been cooperative. Oh, thank goodness. Good for them. Good for them. Oh, what was that?
I see dead people.
Oh, well, maybe, okay. They've been cooperative, good God, in expanding the U.S.-held safety zone surrounding Kabul airport, at one point calling the militants a ragtag force. Well, a ragtag force that just went through Afghanistan in about 14 days and took over all the major cities. So the ragtag force, without, of course, they didn't have really any resistance because the Afghan people just said, fuck it, the Americans fucked it up, so we're not going to fight you now because otherwise you just kill us all, and we don't want to be dead. We'd have a better chance with being alive than not being alive. So that's how they just marched through the entire country of Afghanistan and took it all over, including Kabul. Some 28,000 people have been evacuated. So this was yesterday. They must have had a bunch since yesterday. Have been evacuated since the country fell to the Taliban, including 11,000 in the past 36 hours. Then the president said, as he conceded, that the situation remains dangerous. Well, good, he's conceded that. A total of 33,000 have been evacuated since July, before the country fell. He said, the security environment is changing rapidly. We know that the terrorists may seek to exploit the situation and target innocent Afghans or American troops. They're maintaining constant vigilance. We're maintaining constant vigilance. And he stumbled. See, I'm reading it verbatim to monitor and disrupt threats from any source, including the likely source being ISIS-K, the Afghan affiliate. We're under no illusions about the threat, he said. Well, good thing you had a plan for every contingency then, right? Oh, what? Wait, what? What was that? Never mind. Anyway, so anyways, you can read the rest of it where he's sending people and whatnot. So let's see. So basically from that, we have Miranda ripping on Biden now. The laughter was so off kilter, it made you wonder if Joe Biden had taken leave of his senses during his mini press conference Sunday. Americans are trapped behind enemy lines in Afghanistan. Our troops at Kabul airport are faced with an uncontrollable surge of people so desperate to escape they are dying in the crush. America has suffered its worst self-inflicted humiliation, and the free world is less safe, all because of his dumb decisions. Except for leaving Afghanistan. Nobody argued that. It's the way he did it, by the way. And he laughs, a cold, inappropriate laugh, muscle memory deployed as a political weapon. by a man operating on empty? The first bout of hilarity came in response to a question from CBS reporter Ed O'Keefe, one of the 4 questions Biden allowed from a pre-approved list of reporters in the Roosevelt Room 7 days after the fall of Kabul. Did he trust the Taliban? A swaggering, streetwise smile swept his face. "I'm no chump," he said. After he and his congenitally native national security team were taken for chumps by those Stone Age Islamists. True. His derisive chuckles began when O'Keefe apologetically asked about a CBS YouGov poll that shows the majority of Americans disapprove of the way he has handled the Afghanistan exit. And forgive me, I'm the messenger, no longer consider you to be competent, focused. I see. And they no longer consider him to be competent, focused, or effective at the job. "I haven't seen that poll," said Biden, shaking his head with a half smirk. "It's out there," said O'Keefe from CBS News this morning. This led Biden to burst out laughing. What was funny? If the mirth was a face-saving performance, it was appallingly ill-judged. He looked down at the cue cards he cannot survive without and began reciting. Look, I have a basic decision to make." He went on a reel off a raft of widely accepted reasons for ending the war, because nobody cares. We're glad he ended the war, Joe. Remember, that's the one part that we think you're doing right. That's all. Keep it narrow. Keep it focused. That's it, buddy. But this was not in dispute, as he well knows every time he slyly answers the question nobody has asked. The problem is the incompetence of the withdrawal, the premature closure of Bagram Air Base, placing our troops in an impossible position, needlessly endangering the lives of American citizens and Afghan allies, and leaving billions of dollars of weaponry in the hands of our enemies. The evacuation of thousands of people from Kabul is going to be hard and painful no matter when it started, he said. It would have been true if we had started a month ago or a month from now. This is pure gaslighting. Of course, it would have made a difference if the evacuation had been done while the U.S. military was still held Bagram before the Taliban took Kabul. Who the hell, I'm my own little add-in, is he kidding? In April, he promised the withdrawal would be done responsibly, deliberately, and safely. But it's been utter chaos and only effective in the last mad scramble due to the competence of the troops on the ground. Biden was full of self-congratulatory bluster and teleprompter statistics of how many people had been evacuated. 28,000 by our military, as well as our NATO and allies and civilian charters. Oh, he's including the allies oh my God. He's not just saying that's including the allies who've evacuated people. I didn't realize they were counting just everybody. He hinted that the military finally has been authorized to go outside the airport to retrieve stranded Americans. But if that's the case, it's days after the UK and French and Germans started doing it. Why the delay? Well, because the French are also so brave and, oh wait, the French beat us out there? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
He never said how many of the evacuees are Americans either, but it was at pains to stress that planes from Kabul are not flying directly to the United States, and non-citizens would be thoroughly screened offshore before they come. Some work there. Where's my... Anyway, X'd it out. It'd probably pop up there eventually. The comments reflect public concern about the prospect of terrorists arriving on our shores in the crowd of unvetted refugees who have been airlifted out during the chaos. But Biden just confirmed the administration has no idea who it's flying out, one of the many long-term consequences of botching the withdrawal. The unfamiliar feeling of universal condemnation, more than anything, is what has had his team reeling. He has lost his air cover from the left-wing media allies and now sits exposed to enemy fire. It's about time. Afghanistan is the one area where journalists weren't willing to cover for him because most of them in the past 20 years have been to that godforsaken war zone and know the truth. The fact is that when you are in touch with reality, Biden's fantasies and glib narratives are unacceptable, no matter how partisan you are. I'm going to end that with that. All right. Real quick, let's catch up on a couple things. Guess what? You're going to start hearing about a new variant. New variant dubbed COVID-22 could be more deadly than dead Delta, expert claims. I think they're going to come with permanent lockdowns. I don't know if we're going to be Australia though, or New Zealand, but we're going to have the 22, not the 21, not the 19, but the 22. Because see, the Della Reese has been dubbed the 22, supposedly the most contagious variant of all. So anyway, an expert has warned that a new variant dubbed COVID-22 could be more lethal than the world-dominating Della Reese. Professor Dr. Shaq Reddy of the Federal Technology Institute, ETH Zurich, an immunologist, believes that the combination of existing strains could result in a new and more dangerous phase of the pandemic. Oh, thank goodness. It is very likely that the new variant will emerge and that we will no longer be able to rely on vaccinations alone. Oh! I wonder if this person has any ties to Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson. Just curious. Professor Reddy told the German newspaper Blick that the Della Reese, dubbed Stupid 21, if you catch my drift there, was the most contagious variant of all. He cited that Stupid 19 variants from South Africa, Beta, Brazil, Gamma, have all mutated, allowing them to evade antibodies to some extent. Oh, wait a minute. To some extent? I wonder if they're evading natural antibodies. If you notice, I'm still waiting for the study on people who've already had the Stupid 19. I'm curious. Just very curious. You know what I mean? But if Beta and Gamma becomes more contagious, or if Della Reese develops mutations, then we could be talking about a new phase of the pandemic. Says Reddy. This would become the big problem. So it'll become an endemic. It's going to become endemic. It's going to mutate. It's going to be like the flu. So are we going to just shut down everything for the rest of the world and everyone's going to get off at once? That didn't sound right. Anyway, this is just a preview of things to come, people. And then we're going to have to shut down everything. Once the Stupid 19s, once we get done with all the cases and all the variants of the stupid, next up, climate change.
How dare you?
All right. By the way, over the weekend, the Capitol Police, the Capitol Police in Washington, they have cleared the officer who fatally shot Ashley Babbitt. Well, they had their own investigation. They investigated themselves, and they cleared the officer. U.S. Capitol Police announced Monday that the internal probe cleared the officer of any wrongdoing for fatally shooting Ashley Babbitt during a January 6th pro-Trump riot. Police agency said the officer was justified in shooting Babbitt outside the House chamber after interviewing multiple witnesses and reviewing all the available evidence, including video and radio calls. The United States Capitol Police has completed the internal investigation into the fatal shooting of Miss Ashley Babbitt, which occurred in the Speaker's lobby on January 6th. Capitol Police said in a statement. It continued, USCP's Office of Professional Responsibility determined the officer's conduct was lawful and within department policy, which says an officer may use deadly force only when the officer reasonably believes the action is in the defense of human life. Huh? Okay. That does. Okay. Babbitt, 35, was the only violent death suffered during the riot at the Capitol, though 4 other people were died of medical conditions such as strokes or heart attack. Well, these at least, well, this is the Washington Times, so they will tell the truth about it. All right, that's fascinating. All right, and then I was gonna go. I'll just get into this tomorrow. There's other things regarding, for example, the FBI. We know the FBI now has found nil evidence that the January 6th insurrection plot, there's little evidence of it, or killing off another anti-Trump media hoax. Remember, Trump got impeached over the January 6th thing, right? That there was some big insurrection plot, right? Ashley Benson, how you doing? And now the FBI, remember, and you got to remember too, you know what else is happening, and which they haven't had their second session yet, but remember, there's a January 6th commission out there that's going to be holding hearings. I'm super duper extra crispy curious if this FBI report finding scant evidence of a January 6th insurrection plot makes its way to the Democratic Congress Congressional House of Representatives something or other commission panel cluster, whatever it is. I wonder what they're going to say about that. I wonder if they'll have anyone in the FBI who are a part of this report as witnesses. I just curious. News confirms that January 11th, the raise. Another widely peddled media hoax has been shot to pieces as Reuters reveals that the FBI has scant evidence of any plot or forward planning to overthrow the U.S. government on January 6th. No conspiracy. Here's the report from Reuters from Friday. I think we might have, maybe, did I have this on Friday? I may not have had this yet. The FBI has found scant evidence that the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol was the result of an organized plot to overturn the presidential election result, according to 4 current and former law enforcement officials. Though federal officials have arrested more than 570 alleged participants, the FBI, why is this not working? Stop. Where was I? Though federal officials have arrested more than 570 alleged participants, the FBI at this point believes the violence was not centrally coordinated by far-right groups or prominent supporters of then-President Donald Trump, according to the sources who have been either directly involved in or briefly regularly on the wide-ranging investigation. So, yeah, we talked about that, and, oh, God, more pop-ups. Yeah, so it'll be interesting if they talk to the FBI about that or not. Anyway, I got a little ranty today, and so unfortunately plus I had to start late because I got done with my other gig late. So and unfortunately I have to end because I have another appointment after this. So I'm going to call it a day today, gang. But thanks for those who showed up. I know there wasn't a whole lot of people here today, but those of you who are here, I greatly appreciate you. And also thanks to our sponsors today, Furry Kitten and Chicago Mike. You are champions in my eyes, as well as those of you in the chat who enjoyed the banter back and forth. And if you're watching on replay, like I said, just let me know you're here. I don't care if you have a comment. Just let me know how you're here. You can tell me somehow. You can just put a hi in the comment section, and that'll be great. Tomorrow's show will be at the same time. It's going to, because the one car situation, which is almost done. By the way, little truck update. Got a call from my mechanic, and my engine has shipped from the Ford plant. So I will be having an engine the engine will be here in about a week. I guess it takes a while to ship an engine. And then I will also, they will install it. So we may be a 2-car family again within the next couple weeks. So looking forward to it. Perfect Pitch and Jim Beam. you made it just in time. Nice to see you. Any news on the Russiagate representative that turned up to fight the allegations against the IRA Russians for fixing the 2016 election that was immediately dropped for zero evidence? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to check that out. Hello, check Carrier Logic too. Take care of your personal. I'm not apologizing if you were so busy. I'm just trying to make it easier for you to know when I'm going to be broadcasting. So I appreciate that. I appreciate what you just said more than you know. Check your logic. I do appreciate that. Anyway, so tomorrow will be an afternoon show again. Wednesday and Thursday will be morning shows. No, Wednesday, Tuesday. Today's Monday. Tuesday, afternoon show. Wednesday, morning show. Thursday, morning show. Friday, afternoon show. I think it's in that order. I hope I got that right. Just follow the feed. I'll make announcements on the I'll use that Twitter community tab where you get a message from someone instead of a video pop up. I'll let you know. But tomorrow will be an afternoon show. So thanks you all for coming today. I appreciate you all more than you know. But it's time for me to go. I was going to sing the Carol Burnett song and I really went with the wrong tune. I don't know why I did that. This just happens sometimes. But anyway, y'all have a fantastic afternoon. My name is Dawg Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.